All right, we are recording. This is it. Um, so yesterday, however you want to say it, was kind of an upsetting day in for the games that we had. I sound a little stuttery and upset because I just fucking did this for like 3 minutes and I didn't realize that my internet was down.
Now we won't have Tyler's good intro.
So Alec, X, and Tyler were all lost, and like they're important. They're important to me, guys. They might not always be right, but they're important to me, and that's what matters.
Cat
But
me outside, meow meow.
cash me outside. How about that?
There's a meme of where it's the
Yeah, I seen
cats
that one on
instead.
iFunny.
Oh, it's cats me
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah,
It cat me outside. Oh no, cat me outside, meow
yeah,
about
about
that.
I'm gonna see if I can find that. That's definitely worth editing in. All right. So we had 4 games that I had said to stay away from. That was Fnatic, Mouse Sports, Godsent, Envious, Virtus Pro, Gambit, and G2 Astralis, and those were all pretty unpredictable games. Two of them were kind of blowouts. The other two were decently close games, but I told you to stay away from those. The Navi SK game was a game that I said that you could feel free to do whatever you wanted, and I just told you my personal opinion that I was doing a medium bet on Navi. So if you followed me on that one, then they blew out SK. SK didn't look good at all on Dust 2. They didn't look like they had any type of form, and that's why I really felt confident on Navi in any map to best SK, especially with the faulty roster that SK has at the moment. And why today was such an upsetting day was for the fact that the 3 games that I said had upset potential were Hellraisers versus North, Liquid versus FaZe, and Optic versus Flipside. And if you can see right here, Hellraisers versus North was a 19-15 score. So Hellraisers ended up losing in overtime. It was a pretty close game the whole time. It looked like Hellraisers was gonna finally pull away, but North kind of brought it back, and they cleaned Hellraisers out in overtime without Hellraisers even winning a round. So that's kind of upsetting. The percents were pretty good for that game. Sadly, Hellraiser didn't win. And if you see Liquid versus FaZe, it went into double overtime, and FaZe ended up taking it against Liquid. And I had talked about key players that needed to step up for Liquid, and I said Nitro and Hiko. And as you can see here, Nitro stepped up big for his team with 29 kills. Pimp had 30. JDM had 25, so they were pretty good. Alicia had 24. Hiko still hasn't stepped up yet, really, but I feel like because of Nitro's performance, that's why Liquid was definitely able to be in the game. And are you laughing because my voice cracked?
Yes.
All right, I'm trying to be serious here, Alec. And then Optic versus Flipside. If you weren't able to catch the game, it was a 10-5 half for Flipside's T side of Train. They won pistol. They were up 12-5.
No, they got ecoed after, or was that the no? That was
That was
first
the
pistol.
first pistol, Alec. Please let me fucking talk.
Okay.
The first pistol, Flipside got ecoed. The second pistol, Flipside or Optic got the bomb plant down and beat Flipside on the third round. So although Flipside won both pistols, they only converted 3 rounds from both pistols, which is kind of a problem. But also they were up 12-5, and they ended up losing 13-6. Optic just ran over Flipside on the T side, and it was kind of hard to watch. So the fact that those games all the underdog potentials definitely had potential, and they all showed. They just came up that little bit short is really upsetting, and that's why there wasn't too much profit at all today. But I went pretty much even for the day. Hopefully you guys did the same or didn't listen to me and actually won some bets and some
Listen to
stuff
me.
like that. If you listen to Alec, your butthole was clenched for a long time though. Like he
Super
said
laggy.
that FaZe and Optic had those games pretty easily.
I did max on
He
phase,
said
which
FaZe,
is
yes, he
I
did
bet
max
I
on
don't know.
FaZe. Tyler maxed on Optic. They both, or Alex said FaZe and Optic had those games easily. And if you could see, obviously not. There was definitely upset
Phase
potential.
actually we're down 15 to 13, 15,
15
12
to 13, but Liquid
on
only
T
had
side nuke.
one buy round in, so that's not really
Mm,
like they came back like major
yeah.
like
But
hugely.
the flip side optic one
The
was
flip side Optic game was just it was really sad to watch. There was so many rounds that were lost and stuff like that, and even the Hellraisers North. There's a 2v4 that I can think of just in my head where
oh
Cajun
Cajun
B
B.
gets 3 kills in
Yeah.
CT, and like rounds like that are just rounds that
You
you're
did call
supposed
the
to win,
Hellraisers.
and if you do win, you win games. You can't let those against teams that are better than you. You can easily beat those teams, but if you're giving up rounds like that, there's no way in hell you're going to beat a team that's better than you. You need to learn how to capitalize off those rounds, and North versus Hellraisers didn't do that. FaZe Liquid didn't do that, and Flipside just kind of got ran over. They didn't seem like they could really do anything. Um, and I wouldn't even say that Optic's T side was good. I don't like how Optic play Train. I guess it works for them, but it's just not. I like watching Train for like strategies and stuff like that, and literally all Optic does is just like shoot people in the head, and I don't like that, but it's whatever. So as you can see,
Can
I
I,
have
can I say something about Envious game?
yeah. Go ahead.
Okay, so I did say that Envious game.
You cut out, Alec.
I did.
Yes, you cut
Okay,
out. You said I did
so
say that envious game.
I did say that the Envious game was gonna be a blowout either way. I just figured it was not gonna happen too much, but I didn't think it was gonna go to that map. They Envious got rid of Godsend's only two good maps, which is why I
I
thought
wouldn't say
Envious were
so.
gonna
I
win.
would say if it went to Mirage, Godsend would have won.
You thought so?
I think so. I think that there was definitely like a couple of teams definitely got fucked by the randomizer today too. I'd definitely say that. I'd
Definitely
say
be
Godsend could have.
Gambit.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say next. Godsend at least would have put up a fight on Mirage. I feel.
Yeah, that
I
would have.
thought Godsend would put up a fight on Cash, but it just didn't look like it was their day. Um,
They
Gambit
did
Virtus
stupid
Pro.
mistakes though.
Gambit Virtus Pro. The randomizer was down to Cobble and Train. And for Train, Gambit put up a really good fight against Virtus Pro, I
I
feel.
think I
And
think the
if it went
G2
to
Astralis
Cobble,
won. The G2 Astralis could
what
have
was
went
the
Dust
other
2.
map for? It could have went Dust 2. I feel like
Yeah.
G2 was probably playing on the randomizer too.
hmm
And like games like I don't know how I
I,
feel about the
I don't like the
randomizer.
randomizer at
I
all.
don't know why it can't just be 3-3,
Yeah.
you know, and then like a knife round. It just like
hmm
that's what it's been for a long time, and I feel like that's better, really. Because it kind of gives some teams an unfair advantage. Sure, they get to pick the side that they want, but it could be a map that they didn't plan for, and they could have easily got a different map if they just had that one more ban. So I don't know, but so I pretty much went even for the day. I don't even want to show you the bets. It was all crazy. It's whatever. But let's just say I went even for the day. Um, here you have North versus G2. Um, And someone left a comment saying, like, can you actually do the bets while you're doing the video? And I really wish I could, but where I am, they usually upload the games at like 3 o'clock in the morning. So it's really hard to do the bets in the video and get the video out before the games start happening at 3 in the morning. So like, you know what I mean? It's kind of hard. So I just end up doing the predictions before, and then hopefully that'll help you because I don't want to say that you should bet this, this, and this. I just want to give you the information and who I'm betting on, but I don't want to be the fault for any lost money or anything like that. So, I'm just giving my opinions really. And what else was I gonna say? Um, I don't know, but let's just get to North versus G2. So North versus G2 is currently a 75-25 for G2. Um, I don't know how that's gonna equal out on Drake Lounge, the site that I'm betting on, but I'd say that this is pretty. I'd say that it's like a 70-30 for G2, 65-35 maybe at the least. I'm definitely giving this game to G2. Me, Ix, and Tyler are. Alec has some faith in North. Why do you why do
Still.
you why do you feel that way, Alec?
I just no reason, just because uh, G2 should have it. If what I think is correct though,
Yeah,
it,
you think the percentages are a little off,
the
right?
percentage, if it's this percentages, then yes, because
North deserve a little something, is what you're
I,
saying.
I I feel like North could actually, like what Thorn was saying. MSL thinks that, yeah, they're just gonna do good one day. They're not gonna do good.
They have to
Unless,
actually, yeah, they have to act on it.
yeah, but I think the percent should be more of a 60-40 in
Hmm.
G2's favor, because G2 didn't look all that good either.
Yeah, you can definitely say that.
Other than that, though, it should be G2.
Um, so
I'm
what
just
we're
going for
saying,
the.
what we're saying basically, both of us, is that if G2 and North are both on form, G2 should take it.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
but
just depending on the
both
percent,
the teams are 1 and 2, and they've both been really unpredictable. Like when G2, who did G2 play the first day?
they played
Um,
Because they played VP the
Fnatic.
second day and it was a really close game.
Fnatic. They
Yeah,
Fnatic.
they
beat
played
Fnatic.
they played
That's the
Fnatic
game we
and it
bet it
was a
on.
close game until the second half and G2 ran away with it. And then they
Yeah,
played
and
today and got completely overrun. So there's like three different forms of G2 right that in 3 days. And North, it was the same thing. I mean, to me, North hasn't really looked good at all,
mm-mm.
really. The team that they beat was Hellraisers, and that was a team that literally everyone was like, "Oh, that team's going 0-3 anyways." So, and North is supposed to be a top 8 team in this tournament. So, I think North's been really underperforming, and I'm giving this game to G2. I'm most likely not going to bet on it unless the percents are actually like a 60-40. I'll probably put a little bit on G2. Um, like maybe like a small to medium bet on G2 if the percentages are 40, 60, 50, 50 maybe. But with percentages like this, I don't really see a point in betting on either team. I don't think North's going to take it. Um, Envious versus Fnatic is the next one. It's pretty much a 60-40 for Envious.
The oldest rival.
This is true. They've been rival teams for a long time. They played in two back-to-back major finals, right?
Hmm.
Oh wait, no.
No.
No, Envious beat Navi in that one.
Yeah, they lost
But
in the final versus Fnatic and then beat them the following year in the semi.
yeah, not the following year, the following major. But
Well, yeah,
but
that's
yeah,
what I meant.
Fnatic and Envious.
This is going Cash or Cobble. Maybe does too.
Mhm. Um, I don't know. I don't like betting on or against Envious.
Envious
Um,
are too unpredictable.
yeah, they really are. It's really unpredictable on Envious because like the way they shit on Godsend today was insane. They played really good, and then to have that faulty breakdown against Liquid on the exact same map like a day before, it's really hard to predict how Envious is playing. I feel like they're a very emotional team with Happy and like Kenny S. Like they start playing to their emotions, and that could be a good thing or a bad thing. Um, and that's why I don't like betting on Envious. Fnatic, I'd say Fnatic's been looking all right though. I definitely think the way they pulled it off against Mouse today was good. Fnatic looked pretty strong against G2 on the first game, the one side. Um, and then they couldn't close out the CT side. And then who'd they play the other day?
North.
North. And Fnatic won that. So from being down 0-1 and they're now 2-1. I feel like Fnatic's been proven
I
themselves
I
pretty well.
I feel like this is the best opponent they played against so far, though, that
Hmm.
they're gonna
That
play.
is true. That is true. Um, but I feel like this is a skip. If because of Envious for me, Envious is really an X
If
factor for
if
me.
Envious are a lower percent, I'd probably bet on Envious. Other than that, I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, don't. Yeah, that's reasonable. Liquid Mouse is right currently a 60-40 for Liquid. I feel like this is pretty much the way it is. Um,
The two most
it's
inconsistent
it's
teams.
like we're hearing you're hearing this a lot from like all the teams, like we said with Envious, like we said with G2, like we said with North. But it's just like these are the teams that are 1-2 or 2-1. So like we've seen both sides of every team pretty much that we've just talked about in this major. We've seen Mouse get lose 16-3 against Navi, and then we see them come back and win off of that. And then the same thing with Liquid. We see them. Liquid's had really good games. I think Liquid's in better form than Mouse right now. I feel like they've had kind of a tougher road. Um, Mouse did have to play Navi the first game. That's reasonable. Um, Liquid had to play Envious, so you could say that Mouse had the tougher opponent for sure. So and then they both went 0-1, then they both went 1-1, and then they both went 1-2, right?
Hmm.
Okay.
Wait, did
So
you say that Mouse played a harder opponent?
yeah, Mouse played Navi round 1, Liquid played
Oh,
Envious.
oh,
Um
oh. I thought you meant today.
no,
Because today I feel like FaZe is better than Fnatic.
absolutely. But yeah, so we've seen the past like literally the next 4 games, these 4 games right here, we've seen including the Godsend Optic Gaming game. We've seen really different forms out of all these teams. So I'd say they're pretty much all like 60-40s. Um, and you can take that as you will. I'm probably not going to bet on any of them other than maybe G2 and maybe Godsend. Um, I feel like the better games are down here. And maybe the games that come after, I won't be able to predict those because I'll be at school or practice or something like that when the games are actually decided. But these 4 games down here, or these 3 games, the round 5 matches, to show the final 3 legends. I won't be able to say anything about that, but I feel like those could be really good games to bet on. Just watch the games from above. Um, so Liquid Mouse 60-40 Liquid. If it's any less than that for Liquid or Mouse, I definitely say it's worth dropping something on the underdog, whoever it is. I could easily see this being on a different site, a little more for Mouse, like or something like that. Um, Now Godsent and Optic, I'd say that Optic definitely have had a tougher road for sure. They had to play Virtus Pro in the first round, and they looked pretty decent against them, but they did fall apart. And then they had to play Astralis, which I felt like was the same thing. They played okay. Wait, did Optic get blown out by Astralis? No, right?
It was 16-12.
16-12, yeah. And Optic was leading like both of those games, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, Optic was up like what, 12-7 against Astralis?
Yeah, I think it
And that
was.
yeah, I think they were up like 12-7 against Astralis and they ended up losing. Yeah, it was 8-7 half. And Astralis ended up losing. I mean, Astralis ended up coming back and winning. And it was the same thing with Virtus Pro. But you can't really blame Optic for that against teams that strong that can come back like that. With Godsend, I feel if Optic gets off to the head start, then Godsend's not really a team that can come back from that. Um, so I'd give the edge to Optic on this one. That being said, this is a 1-2
Green
game.
wall?
Yeah.
Yeah, green wall? Okay.
Thanks for your input, X. Those are the first 2 words you
Got
fucking
you.
said in the past 20 minutes.
I think
Well,
Tyler
Well,
I've
first
been
two
muted
words
because
too.
I didn't want to, because I was moving around and I didn't want to be annoying.
I've been
That's
muted
right,
for a
X.
bit too because it was pretty loud in here.
So Godsend, Optic, 60-40. If the percents even go a little bit lower, I'd say put something on Godsend. I think they deserve it. I
You think
think
so?
I think
If
so.
JW shows up.
I
Optic
think I
didn't
think
start off
that I
too
think
good
that
today.
Godsend definitely deserve a little bit of attention if the percentages are really whack. For Optic, like a lot in Optic's favor, I definitely think that Godsend deserves something. Um, The next game is SK Astralis. I feel like the
Yeah.
percentages for SK are going to be a lot higher on Drake Lounge.
Mm-hmm.
It's a 55-45 for SK right now at the moment. I feel like Astralis is going to have like a 2 multiplier or something like that, like some pretty decent percentages. And that's I'm actually siding with Astralis to win this. Like I feel pretty strong that they're gonna win it. So if the percentages are like a 2-1 or something like that, I'll probably go decent on Astralis.
What do you think, Mirage and Train?
I'd say Mirage and Train, yeah. I'd say SK would feel fine on both those maps, and I'd say Astralis would feel more fine on Train, but I'm sure they'll be all right on Mirage. Um, I'm siding with Astralis. Am I the only one?
I think so.
What?
Who else is
Would you
going?
choose
I
SK
think
or
X chose
Astralis?
SK.
I chose SK.
You were the only
Yeah.
one with the Astralis.
So I'm pretty confident that Astralis can take this game,
They,
and
they definitely can.
I
It
think
just who's gonna help Device?
I think that the percentages, if they play out right, this could be a really good game to go pretty big on. Not big as in like $100 for me. I have 200, so I'd say big as in like maybe $20 to $30, maybe like a tenth of what you
Especially if
have.
percents are
Like if you're playing with like $20 or something like that, don't go all 20 just because I'm going 20
go
out of
forfeit
my
it.
200, you know what I mean? You have to like do what's reasonable for you, you know what I mean? Um like if I'm going 20 and I have 200, that's a tenth of my inventory. So if you're going and you have $20 and like I know it
If I
sounds
had
kind of
$20, I'd put
yeah, I know it
5.
sounds kind of crazy. No, it would be $2. It might not
I
sound
wouldn't.
like a lot, but proportionally that's the same. And if you want to go bigger, you can go bigger. But I'm just saying, just because I'm going $20 doesn't mean you go $20 no matter how much money you have. I just want to make that clear. I have a little bit more money to spend, so I'm gonna go a little bit bigger. If you have a smaller inventory, go smaller. But I think this is definitely a good game to bet on Astralis.
I would agree with that. If the percents, especially, are low.
If it's like a 50-50, I wouldn't say so. If it gets anywhere to a 60-40 and below, I definitely go
Even
on Astralis.
55-45.
You think it's worth that?
Yeah, we're throwing is something on it.
Mhm.
The
Mhm.
higher the percent go, the maybe the less you
Mhm.
put more the put you on them.
So
Or
this is probably my big game of the day is Astralis versus SK for me betting wise. I think
really,
that
I have one.
you think it's Gambit phase.
Well, I'll say our what our best bet will be for tomorrow.
All right. So, but last game of the day is going to be Gambit phase. Well, not last game, but the last game that I'm going to cover is going to be Gambit phase. And I'm a huge Gambit fan, so I don't want to sound biased or anything. So I'm gonna let Alec take this one first.
Okay, this is my bet of the day, and especially if the percents are what if they're 50-50, I'd still go Gambit. If they're
You'd say
anything
even
higher
on a
for
50-50, it's worth to bet on Gambit.
yes, I feel that this
And I
one is
feel FaZe is gonna
safer.
have a higher percent too. So you're saying that Gambit's a good team to bet on right now?
I love the way Gambit is
I
playing.
do
The
too.
only,
I really do.
the only reason they lost to VP today is some stupid eco losses.
Yeah, they definitely lost a couple of rounds that were
Because they could have easily won that game today.
they could
FaZe,
have.
on the other hand,
Maybe didn't they lose both
struggled.
pistols too? Yeah, Gambit lost
Uh,
both pistols.
they lost both pistols.
Yeah, and they only lost 16-10 to VP on train. So
Hmm.
that's pretty wild. Gambit definitely performed
Winning
really
both
good today.
pistols, or at least one of them, probably won
Winning
them the
one
game.
pistol would have made the game pretty much
So
even.
saying that tomorrow they're against FaZe, I'm not sure what map they would play on. Maybe they could play on Trent again, but
Nuke.
I'm thinking of a Mirage or a Cache, or
You're not even seeing
I
Nuke.
don't
Honestly, these teams share a lot of the same maps.
Nuke too, huh?
Yeah, that's what I just
Overpass,
that's what I
overpass.
said. Nuke.
I
I
think
don't.
it's. I
I
think it'll
think
go to an
FaZe is
over.
going to be banning overpass and Cobble.
I don't think they'll ban overpass.
You don't think
I
so?
think that no.
Well, they share a lot of maps. These two teams.
Well,
Um,
you gotta.
the one
You
map
were
that
right
they
about
don't the
the.
one map that they don't share is Cobble, and FaZe is going to ban that.
FaZe
For sure.
bans Cobble.
For sure.
Gambit ban.
Dust 2? No. They like
No,
Dust 2.
they ban
Well, they haven't played Dust 2 in a long time.
Mirage.
I don't know. To be honest, I could see this going to any 6 maps other than Cobble. If FaZe doesn't ban Cobble, I don't know what's going on. I can see these two teams banning any other map any other way. I could see it going like that, but
Yeah,
FaZe has to ban Cobble for me.
I think one of them will ban Cash and one of them. FaZe will probably ban Dust too. I think they banned it pretty early today
hmm
against
Well,
Liquid, who aren't that good.
well, yeah. So that's it for today. Let's recap. I'll leave a timestamp in the description, like I did to the last one. North versus G2. If it's close percentages, 60-40, 55-45, I'd say small to medium on G2. Alec says if the percentages are like a 25-75,
Yeah.
you could drop a small bet on North. That's his opinion.
Mhm.
Um, I don't know. I feel like G2 kind of has it. Envious Fnatic is definitely a skip with the unpredictable teams.
I'm actually gonna bet on Envious
Well,
tomorrow.
yeah, that's because he's an Envious fan, but I personally
Mhm.
wouldn't follow in his footsteps. That being said, I think Envious will probably walk away with the win, but it's just way too unpredictable.
So we're
Don't.
saying G2 wins, Envious possibly wins.
Uh-huh.
I'm
So
gonna say
down to
that.
Liquid Mouse. Um, I'd
I have
skip
Liquid winning
I'd skip
this.
this game too. It like
Yeah,
you
this is a
see here,
skip.
this is like a 60-40. But it actually is a 60-40. I feel.
I would say
G2 and
55
North.
45.
G2 North, if this game goes to like a 60-40, that's when I would bet on G2 because I feel like they definitely have a stronger chance. They have
Yeah.
a G2 has a stronger chance of beating North than Liquid does of beating Mouse, and I think that's kind
The
of
only reason I would say to bet on North is if G2 has a really high percent where it's not almost not worth betting on
yeah.
him.
If it's I can agree with that. So like you can see right there the two different games that if they're 60-40s, why you want to stay off one and go with the other. So
For example, if Liquid is a 65-30, put a small bet on Mouse. If it's 40-60 or lower, I'd probably go Liquid.
I'd skip if
Or
it's
just skip
I'd skip
altogether.
if it's a 40-60 to be honest. If it sways in the way of Liquid, you can drop something on Mouse. Definitely, Mouse is a team that can easily step up against Liquid.
I feel like that is going to be one of the better games with the.
I definitely
Well,
think that's going to be one of the better games, and it's an elimination game. I think, right?
they're all going to be good,
Mhm.
except probably the first
So
one.
Mouse and Liquid is an elimination game. So
hmm
so
Tyler's Mouses are going home.
Mhm.
that's a good game. Godsent Optic is another game that I see Optic having a really high percent on some sites, and I think that Godsent definitely have earned some respect, and I think that they deserve some type of really low bet or just a low bet against
So you're
Optic.
going to go low on Godsend, or
I'm gonna most likely go low on Godsend if it's not a 60-40, if it's like a
if
70-30.
it's above 60-40, or like on if it's like
If
a
it's like a
one
55-65, it's not worth
if it's a
skip.
1.5 multiplayer on Drake Lounge, I'm actually going to go on Optic.
You are?
I've said it
I
already
just
for Godsend. They haven't won on any other map besides the two that I said.
mhm. Well, I'm just not feeling Optic. I feel like even though they had the tough road and they're still a really good team, um, I'm not feeling them getting out of groups still. Um, I don't know if they're gonna lose this game or the next, but I feel like Optic just doesn't have it in them right now.
Okay. So
And
you say Godsend and I say
so
Optic. What
no,
about you, Tyler?
but I yeah, Tyler, what do you? I think
For what game?
Optic got sent.
I had Godsent going because Optic
hmm
didn't start off good today
Yeah,
against
I.
Flipside, and if they don't start off good, they're not gonna come back like they did. Because
Mhm.
Flipside just pretty much gave them the game
And
after
that's
the first half.
If Optic win the first pistol, they're gonna win the game. That's my prediction.
I'd say that this is definitely that's why I'm gonna say skip unless it's high for Optic, go on Godsent a little bit. Because the way these games, I mean the way these teams play out is just like if you think about it, Optic's not really been stable in all three of the games they played. They had huge leads against VP and Astralis and they choked it out. and then Optic had a really slow start against Flipside. But since they're a better team than
Came back.
Flipside, well, since they were a better team than Flipside, they could easily come back like that.
Mhm.
But the leads that they lost against VP and Astralis are still scary if you want to be an Optic better. That can definitely be in the back of your mind, and that's why I'm not seeing myself betting on Optic anytime soon. But maybe a godsend as a potential upset. Now the two games down here are by far the best games of the day. If you have
Gambit's my favorite.
yeah, I'd say that both of these games, I like both of these games. I think SK is gonna have a higher percent than Astralis, and I think FaZe is gonna have a higher percent than Gambit. But I
Hmm.
think that Astralis and Gambit are going to take both of those games. So I feel as though these are the
I'll tell
best
you. I'll tell
bets
you
of the
for
day.
sure that I'm betting on Gambit tomorrow if I have any
Yes,
money from
I
the
am. I
first
am
two.
as well. And I'm telling you for sure, I'm betting on Astralis tomorrow. I feel that these are the two games that are the best games of the day. If the percentages are really high for SK or FaZe, I hope they really are. I hope they really are because I really see Astralis and Gambit winning these games. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much it. If it's a 50-50 for Astralis and SK, I'm not betting. If it's a 50-50 for FaZe and Gambit, I'm probably not betting. I might bet on Gambit because they're my favorite team. But I
If it's
wouldn't. If it's
50-50,
a
if it's
50-50 on either of these, I wouldn't suggest betting on it. But as soon as it starts edging for SK or FaZe, I definitely go on it. If it goes
if
to a
it edges for
60-40,
if it's anything above 50 for Gambit, I'm not betting. But if it's below 50
hmm
or
hmm
50, I will bet.
hmm yeah. So if it start the second it starts edging for SK or FaZe in the favor, I think that's when you can make a lot of money. On Astralis and Gambit, I'm definitely giving the edge to Astralis on Train and Mirage, and definitely giving Gambit the edge on pretty much every map, to be honest. So I think that if Astralis and Gambit have the lower percents, they're the best games of the day to go on. So
Hmm.
there's our predictions for the day. Like I said, I won't be able to
So
do.
what are you betting on for sure?
I'm gonna definitely bet on Astralis. That's the only one I
So
can say
so
for sure. Um, I have $200. I'm thinking 30.
it's envious. 30 on the.
You're going 30 on Envious?
I,
What? All right. Well, sadly I won't be able. Like I said before, I won't be able to cover the last games of the day. I might bet on them depending. I think that the last games of the day, the last three games, can definitely be good games. Right, Alec? Huh. Well, my internet cut out again, but at least it was at the end of the video this time. I don't really feel like fucking doing any of that all over again, so I'm just gonna end it here. But yeah. So I feel as though the last three games are definitely gonna be good games. Um, So if you just watch the games from before and you feel as though you have like a gut instinct on the three last games, yeah, see my internet's down. Go for it. Sadly I won't be able to help, but just go for it. So I'd like to thank you guys very much for watching. I appreciate the support that I've been getting on the past couple of videos. It's a lot more than I've ever seen. So thank you and good luck.